criminy. Really? Really? The whole time? Just jibber jabber? Because I was behind on the thing? Now I got to start all over again? I have to. This is the. You know what? I'm sorry. No show today. I'm just getting out of here. It's too much. I've dealt with it too much. I've gone. Okay. No, I can't. Oh, we're just going back to this. That's it. Sorry. 3, 2, 1. I'm just kidding. I'm back. I'm not leaving. We dealt with it. Hello. I'll just cut off the top of that earlier. So much silliness, so much craziness, so much madness, and yes, I said stuff that was so profound, and yet it shall never be heard. I'm not repeating it. I'm not going to. I refuse. No, I'm not going back to. Yes, I see all the no sounds. It's so funny watching the chat finally catch up to where I am. It's there. I see it going out. Yep, there we go. I'm waiting. Hi, there you are. Hello. Hi. All right, so here I am. You're Rocket Queen. No, here I am. Some people are asking about the craziness that of the judgments today. I have said my piece, and that is how it shall stand. I'm sorry if you do not. If you want to argue reality, and scream at the sky, I'm not going to be a part of it. There you go. Sound's up. I'm here. It's got sound. It's up, isn't it? Like, some people are behind. Scroll forward. I can't tell them because they won't see this until it's, oh, good Lord. All right. Now, there you go. Now I can see where the chat is. Now I see the delay in the chat, and that should tell me a little something. There have been, we have had our discussion about the Wisconsin trial, the Kenosha trial this morning, and I've said my piece on it, and I'm gonna stick to what I said. And if at some point after the anger, mistrust, fear, and loathing has wilted a little bit and people have gathered their thoughts and their emotions back in one place, I would be more than happy to discuss some of the legalese about it and that kind of stuff. But until then, no. You need to take, if people want to have a conversation about it, they got to wait till they're ready to have the conversation. I'm always ready to have a conversation. So, let's see. I'm going to just make sure we're starting up on all our pages. We're kind of easing into this one. It's okay. There's a little leftover from this morning and the madness that we went through. Just doing the show. And then I, of course, hopped over to Stuttering John. And I don't care what he said. He butt dialed me. That was a butt dial. That's a straight up butt dial, folks. I'm just saying. So I have said my piece on it. I stand by what I said, and I will remain at that. And I will continue to take you to places we have not already covered, if that's all right with you. Now, there is, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 videos today that I hope I can get through. And the length of them is different. Let's start off on a little bit of a side note. This is not something we normally do. This is an interview that happened on OAN that they put on their Rumble channel that says that 2022 candidates are demanding changes before the next election. Now, what changes do you think that they're demanding that be made? Are they changes are they anti-gerrymandering? Oh, by no means. Are they Are they worried about, the safety or the availability? Are they concerned they won't be able to pass out water at elections? Probably not. Probably not. But in this case, I will see what I'm interested in this one. This is the demands that they're making. Now, are they talking to Democrats, for example, who are concerned about people being denied their right to vote? I'm going to go out on a limb and say probably fucking not. So here we go.
Christina Bobb.
Melissa Crone, you are running for state representative here in Michigan.
No. Melissa Crone, who looks very different. This is a different outfit for Melissa. This is her Catholic high school deal. Oh, no. Oh, dear. Oh, good Lord. Melissa Crone is running, and she has a few demands.
For District 33, you've been central to the election integrity effort since Election Day.
Yes, she's been central to the election integrity movement. Central to the, let me see if I can bring this up. And wait, there's more. There's a story of Michigan lady who has Wait, there's more. Election hearing witness has a criminal record. There she is. That's her. There she goes. Different look. She's toned it down. Hair's down in the back, kind of played down. This look's gone. The super eyeliner. Yeah. Sentenced to 12 months probation for a computer crime in September 2019, stemming from an incident in November 2018. The mother of two had struck a plea deal with Michigan prosecutors, who in turn dropped a first-degree obscenity charge against her. That's right, first-degree obscenity. Ladies and gentlemen, the woman who introduced us to, you don't even fucking know, at a state senate hearing, who we all found out a month before she got her job as a temp clearing paper jams for Dominion on Election Day, of which she was completely useless and apparently followed around the Dominion people, bugging them, and had to be told to go fix a paper jam instead of asked. Turns out that her charge of computer fraud that she got probation for was a plea down. She pled down from this charge, which you'll recall back in the day, if you've been with us all along the way. This lady taught us all the meaning of the phrase first degree obscenity. You guys remember that? Oh yeah. No, Rudy farted on Jenna Ellis. This is the woman who was this gentleman. Okay, you don't even know. Do you even know that lady? Yeah, first degree obscenity. Yeah. Only disorderly conduct, and the computer crime charge was also dismissed. That's how she got probation. She was using computers to commit a crime. The crime was sending sexually explicit videos of herself having sex with her boyfriend to her boyfriend's ex and his minor child. His minor child. All right. Video. But that's clearly that she stands out. Rudy Total landscape. I'm sure Rudy Giuliani didn't mean to bring someone who had committed a sexual crime against a minor to. No, you didn't think he meant to bring that? No? Well, certainly it's not happened anywhere else. Let's see. Minor. Let me just look there. That probably didn't happen or whatever. Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry. The other Rudy, also his primary witness at the total landscaping thing, was also a convicted sex offender. So, hey, at least he was moving up. Or down, actually. She wasn't convicted of that. She pled down from a sex crime that involved a minor. And this guy, who was Rudy's first witness. First. Seventh? Guy standing around. You're starting to run a little dry. All right, you can talk. Yeah, showed his dick to, I think, a 7 and a 12-year-old. This dude right here. Big, tall dude. Let's see, Daryl Brooks. No, he served as a GOP poll watcher. Brooks served 3 years and 8 months in prison in '98 after he was convicted of several charges of lewdness, sexual assault, and endangering the welfare of a minor for allegedly exposing himself in front of 2 girls ages 7 and 11. The arrest came 3 years after police said Brooks was reported for public masturbation after he was seen naked from the waist down on a city street near a mini police station while holding a bottle of brandy. But Giuliani was not at all fazed by Brooks' criminal past, insisting his dirty deeds have nothing to do with his claims of widespread election fraud. And when he says widespread, quit it.
TCF Center. As you're running for state representative, what do you believe needs to happen in order to secure elections and allow citizens of Michigan to feel comfortable in what's happening in their elections?
Yes. So, first, I think that we need to make sure our voter rolls are cleaned up. Jocelyn.
Yeah, I totally. Hold on. Let's see. No, that won't work. Hold on. Yeah, I think this will work. Hold on. Totally? Oh my God. Oops, I'm smaller than I should be. Totally should not. All right? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. We need to fix this.
Pulled the archive voter roll and applied it to our verified voter roll, over 700,000 people. That needs to be cleaned up. Secondly, we need to get rid of these mail-in ballots and get people back into voting at the poll on election day, one day voting.
Yeah, 1 day voting. That's what we need. Okay, you don't even know.
Not counting ballots for days and all that. We need good reason absentee voting. We need these ballot boxes all over to put an end to that. That's crazy.
Yeah, we gotta get these crazy. Just because you can track the vote and people are registered to vote, and just because you can contact them through their cell phone number to check and see if they really voted, you don't even know if that's a real thing. How do you even know that? Okay, you don't know. They don't even know.
And we need to count the ballots at the precincts.
I think that's a really important.
That's right. Don't move it. Don't move anything. Count them at the precincts where they are currently being counted.
That we haven't heard a lot talking about, but the numbers seem to get obscured from when a vote is cast at the precinct until it gets to a central count or some central facility. Nobody really knows what happens in transition. What would be the benefit of counting the votes at the precinct level?
Well, it would secure the count there, like you're saying. It would give us a count there, it would make it just secures the chain of custody. It was
secure.
It's the way to do this, to make sure that
that's how you do it.
It doesn't get manipulated
in the process.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you also mentioned the archive voter rolls. I think this is really interesting that Jocelyn Benson, the Secretary of State here in Michigan, added over 700,000. I've heard some people report 800,000 voters who had been scrubbed, who had been taken off for a number of reasons. Yeah. How is that possible?
Well, I mean, they do what they want to do here in Michigan. And, when you have an attorney general and you have...
If they want to scrub people off the voter rolls because they haven't voted in like 6 elections. That's what they do. And they're like, and you go up to them and go like, why'd you kick those people off for never having voted? And they're like, we don't have to tell you. I don't know. Do you know? Well, you don't even know.
A governor that backs you and doesn't allow, you can do whatever you want to do, this kind of stuff happens. And,
it happens. It as in shit. That's what I'm taking.
We've written several letters. We've sent these to our...
I've been writing all week.
Legislators for months now to have her to call her in and hold her accountable for what she's done. They don't care. Right. They're not doing anything.
They don't care.
And what?
No. They don't care. Let's say you haven't voted in 15 years and all of a sudden you want to vote. They're like, well, we had to drop you off 8 years ago. And you're like, but I want to vote right now. And they're like, well, you have to re-register. And you're like, but I don't want to. And they're like, I don't care. And that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. What do I mean? You tell me what I mean. I don't even know why we're even discussing this. This is a mess. It's a mess, okay? Sorry, do I need this? No, that's terrible. What is this? I'm just running through trying to find crap that looks like her. Oh, this is better. Here you go. This will work. Now, this works. This is. Now I'm part of the conversation.
Recommendations do you have for viewers watching? Many of them probably live in Michigan and are watching your race. If they want to get involved in securing the election.
Sister, there are a lot of people who stay in Michigan. Nobody lives there. You know what I'm saying?
What do they do?
Well, right now I would say get involved. Contact me. Right now, contact me.
Are they gonna put your number on the screen? How are we supposed to? Come on, girl.
Contact Matt DePerno. Contact somebody, me or Matt DePerno in Michigan right now.
Yeah, like do anything. Signal flares. Here's a good idea. Arrange your boyfriend's clothing and belongings in the yard and set them on fire in a message that's visible from space.
Or Patrick Colbeck too. We are doing a lot in Michigan right now. We are writing, we have this bill done for a full forensic audit. We are getting involved with the America Project, and we are going to have them come in, and people are going to donate there, and we're going to get this done. We have to get this done. We have to secure our election.
Yeah, we got to get this done. Otherwise, I am not going to run, okay? She's not running. I'm not running. Christina Bob's not running. We're not running, okay? We're sitting. This is a sitting. Understand this.
Very good. Thank you so much for your time and your efforts.
Thank you.
Want to see more videos?
No, not really. I will say that red, though, matches. Sorry, that's just ridiculous. I apologize. I don't know where that one came from, but I'm keeping it. We have, there's plenty to do today, so I'm going to jump straight to the next one. Melissa Caroni is running for office in Michigan. Now, on the other end of the appearance spectrum, we just went from Christina Bobb and Melissa Caroni, people who have a big fan base for their particular physical outward appearance. On the other hand, we have a man who, if you just look at him, you go, you know what? Fighting a subpoena agrees with him.
Not receive the score from the Congressional Budget Office. Most importantly, and this is a bill, it's really 3.5.
Oh, by the way, they have gotten the score. It contributes about 357, 380, depending, or $112 billion to the deficit from direct action. Of course, the investment in all of it, there's no way to score the fact that people can work longer hours or work more, and what kind of productivity additions this will add. And of course, the number of money that people who have educated jobs makes versus people in uneducated positions, especially when it comes to community colleges, a breakwater for getting into university. That's you can't chart that. But I'm sure his biggest concern is that the Build Back Better plan adds to the deficit $300 billion. That's why he was so concerned with the quality of the work that Trump did.
$1 trillion. Don't believe the lies and misrepresentation. It's 1.7 trillion because the way that they're doing the duration of these programs, programmatically, they're going to get everything in there, and that means the
programmatically. Yeah, people are programmer.
Be virtually impossible to dig out. This is a fundamental transformation of not just the American economy. It's a fundamental transformation of the citizens' relationship to the state, and they make it.
Well, one would say that the cell phone, much less the smartphone, was a fundamental transformation of the concept of non-material communication. Email, one would say, was a fundamental transformation. The internet is a fundamental transformation of the way we do business in this country and indeed the world. It changed the fundamentals to the point where even the money that largely changes hands is digital and has expanded into the existence of cryptocurrencies. And I bring that up because that's how Steve Bannon gets paid under the table by Russian oligarchs, creeps, and criminals, allegedly.
That all this stuff is, 70% approval. Yeah, but they don't define what exactly that is. They just kind of give this kind of high concept of free this and free that. And of course, people.
No, you say free this and free that. The bill actually has stuff in it. And when they poll people on it, they go, what do you think of this program? What do you think of this program? What do you think it would be worth to have this in the country versus what it costs?
I'm going to say when they hear that, yeah, sure, I'll take some free stuff. I like that. That's not what it's about. They also cover this. Remember,
Yes. That's mostly Republicans, by the way. Yeah, I'll take some free stuff. I love free stuff. That's the kind of answer you get when you poll Trump's family.
Say spending. They've test marketed that. They've what's called focus group. They focus group that, which is really put a bunch of people, average citizens, in a room and play some spots or throw out some words, and they focus grouped it. And the focus group says citizens don't like spending. They don't like government spending. They think that's not good because they understand they have to pay for it. But they like investments. They're told investments are good. And so if you say investments.
Well, there's a distinct difference between spending and investment. And as a matter of fact, the military has been the argument about military spending is about the security investment that you're actually making. And is the investment of that money making us more or less secure, even though it's for the same material shit? Is an ongoing war in Afghanistan, which is a part of military spending, is it an investment in the national security of the United States by needing a base there, needing some place to stop certain people from attacking the United States, or is it not? And that is the debate. And the reason there's a debate around that is because it's questionable whether some things are an investment or just spending. In the case of Afghanistan, it's abundantly clear for over 15 years it was just spending. Whereas when we give aid to Israel or Ukraine or you can argue that is an investment.
It's good. If you say spending, that's bad. So they just shift the nomenclature to say investments. It's all three-card money. This show.
Oh, I see. It's three-card money. By the way, why didn't Trump think about that? You need a focus group to tell you that people like the word investment? Trump couldn't figure that shit out? Is that why he never got an infrastructure bill? Steve, is that why he could never fucking do it? Is that why he was a massive, massive failure on all fronts, especially infrastructure? You think Republicans just now started thinking, the ones that voted for it and the ones that support it, just started thinking of infrastructure as investment now because they heard a message from the Biden administration? Or do you think they've known it all along, but you and the fucking turd you used to run with couldn't get any of it done? Just didn't care to.
This is why this audience is so important, is we forced these moderate Democrats, 5 of them, there was actually more, but 5 of them actually went to Pelosi a couple weeks ago and said, we can't pass this because you haven't done something that's actually required. You can get around.
Yeah, yes, by the way, yeah, Steve Bannon and his audience are the ones that got moderate Democrats to go, in my district, I can't vote for this unless you score it. I have to be able to defend this fucking thing, which is a reasonable thing. You have to weigh it against what it's actually going to accomplish. There's nothing wrong with them and any of them doing that. And she agreed. It does need to be scored. You do need to know how much something costs before you allocate money for the cost of said thing. But yeah, it's Steve Bannon's army, the shock troops, called the 5 conservative, whatever the fuck that means, like, read Democrats that would like to get reelected in a district they didn't just turn bluer than it already was.
If you're sneaky, and that is, you have not had this scored by the Congressional Budget Office. Now, what the Congressional Budget Office does, it's an independent agency over there. It takes all these complicated bills, breaks them down, and it really goes through what the true cost is and kind of.
Jesus Christ. We know. You know how we know? And you know how your listeners are fucking however they ingest this bullshit? You know how they know? Because you were against the Congressional Budget Office last year. Under Trump. Hey, there's 666 people have joined us. Welcome. Thank you. Perfect timing. I will take that as a sign from God that clearly we hit 666 people in the chat right as Steve Bannon's on screen. That's not a mistake. But if you feel like it, support the show with a $6.66 super chat, or any amount, really. It's very helpful. I clearly lost some subscribers this morning. Only a couple dozen, but they went away mad and will probably be shit-talking me in other chat rooms for months and months and months for being right. Anyways.
What it's going to add to the deficit. Nancy Pelosi thinks so little of the American people, they were not going to do that. They haven't done. There's really been no due diligence done on these programs. Do you remember the hearing?
Also stupid, one of the reasons why the House hadn't done it yet was because the Senate has to work up their final version and then it has to go back. The Senate does that as well. A lot of times they'll do it before they even run it through committee. What's this version of the bill going to cost? The Senate does it. It's a they can do it or we can do it kind of a thing. It's not some big magical thing like, oh, she got strong-armed by some people. And after the Senate gets done with their changes, because the House votes for what they want, and then the Senate votes for what they can actually make happen, and then sends back to the House and see if they can stomach it, essentially, every time, which is why Trump never got any of his infrastructure shit off the ground, even when he controlled both houses. Because even he didn't know what the fuck he wanted.
On this, do you remember the analysis of this? Did they walk you through what the cost-benefit analysis is? No, they did not, because she doesn't have any respect for the American people. And this is the...
Well, if she doesn't have any respect for the American people, she would have said, fuck you, no way.
Rattle of a dying regime. All the numbers are horrific.
The death rattle of a dying regime. The death rattle of a... Hold on. There we go. Hold on.
Back today, Kamala Harris, and we're going to have the great Jack Posobiec, who really was on this story first. Kamala Harris either fired or her comms director departed, because as a poll came in, so Kamala Harris at 28%. She's somewhere between 26 and 28, which are these numbers are so historically low, they're almost incomprehensible of how even to ascertain them and compare them to numbers in the past.
Well, no, you can compare them to numbers in the past, especially on, national security related elements. Let's see. When's the last time somebody got us out of a long running war like Afghanistan, like Vietnam.
At Quinnipiac, the university comes out. They're very good polling up.
Does Bannon listeners know he's a Leninist? I don't think so. I don't think that they realize he wants to be, a barely right-wing version of the Weather Underground.
But, on the left, they came out with handling the economy. Joe Biden, people, it took the great Steve Cortez to pull this out. The people that, the American people who think Biden's doing a great job in the economy, 16%. That's 1/6. Those are numbers that are almost within the margin of error. I mean, it's almost incomprehensible how low these numbers are. So Nancy Pelosi now is trying to find the votes. Now, here's what they're going to do. They're going to vote on something that people haven't even seen the bill. We've asked MTG and others. Tell us what the...
You've asked Marjorie Taylor Greene and others. They haven't seen the bill? They haven't seen it? They haven't seen it. No? They don't. They haven't seen the Build Back Better plan. They haven't seen it. The Build Back Better Act. There's only one version of it. There aren't multiple versions. Would that be? I mean, they could. Do they not have internet? Or, I mean, they have staff. They could go through, like I have multiple times. They haven't seen it. They don't know what's in it. Steve, Marjorie Taylor Greene can't. She doesn't know what's in the bill. She doesn't know that, like, say there's USDA assistance and support for underserved farmers, ranchers, and foresters. Forgiveness of $150,000 worth of debt for each one of them. She doesn't know that's in there. She doesn't know. Let's see. Let's just do a needle drop. Support for farm worker and food worker relief grants. There you go. Let's see. Let's scroll way down. Let's see. Come on. Let's get going. It's like Price is Right. It's a big bill. There's a lot of stuff in it. It should be big. Oh, look at that. There's literally line markers on it so that you can address line by line in committee what part of the paragraph you're talking about. You sure she hasn't seen this? Steve, you sure? Sure nobody's seen this? Grants, localities, and awards to Head Start programs, and what you have to do to qualify for them. Let's see. What's another? Let's we scroll past something. Universal preschool. I mean, this is one of the things we've talked about right there. Child experiencing homelessness. The term child experiencing homelessness means an individual who is homeless, a child or youth under the section of 725 of the McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act. Child with disability, comprehensive services, what they mean by that, because you have to set the terms in a law as you present it. Probably eligible child. She probably stopped reading at the word eligible child. Yeah. That'll make MTG stop reading. Head Start agency. The term Head Start agency means an entity designated as a Head Start agency under Section 641 of the Head Start. So, it's been, Indian tribes are described. Local education agencies. The poverty line is in the community services block grant definition of it, which is these are like plug-in elements of a math problem, right? Secretary of the terms. There you go. You go through this. Here we go. What does it mean? Appropriations for the states. Here it is. Steve, you've heard about free stuff. Free stuff. Right, Steve? That's all they know is free stuff. That's all she knows. She can't possibly go to Section 229 of the bill herself, or page 229 of the bill herself, and look at, in general, addition to the amounts otherwise available, there is appropriated for the Department of Health and Human Services for fiscal year 2022 out of any money in the Treasury not otherwise appropriated, $4 billion to remain available until September 30th, 2027 for payments to states carrying out this section, $6 billion to remain available until September 2027 for paying for these things, $8 billion to remain available until September 30, 2027. Additional appropriations, appropriations where they're going. $2.5 billion to remain available until this is how they strategize it out over the next 10 years budget-wise, the money that's actually going there, but to pay for it. Carry out federal activities, support the activities funded under this section, including administration, as we roll through there. $216 million to remain available for carrying out federal activities, support activities in here. To remain available until this area. This is how they word all these things out. And then the spending of it will be payments to states. Amounts available under the subsection for any fiscal years 2022 to 2024. The Secretary is going to pay out. This is the proportion amount of the thing. See, this is in the bill here. State activities. The Secretary shall pay to each state with an approved state plan under paragraph 5 an amount of the fiscal year equal to 43.022% of this amount of the state's expenditures for the activities described in paragraph 3, except that in no case shall a payment for a fiscal year under this clause exceed the amount equal to 10% of the state's expenditures described in clause 10 for the fiscal year. The non-federal share, this is the paying of the other schools, how they allocate it out. This is the payment part of it. Nothing in this will make a new law that goes against the previous law, and that's where that stuff is. Partner in the Head Start agencies, ensure they distribute new preschool slots equitably among child care, including family child care providers, Head Start agencies, and schools within the state. Certification that the state in operating the program described in this section for the fiscal will not reduce the total preschool slots provided in state-funded preschool programs from the number of such slots of the previous year, so you can't just start spending more money on kids by kicking kids out. The number of eligible children identified in the state declines from the previous year will maintain at least the previous year's ratio of the total preschool slots described in clause to eligible children so identified. And assurance that the state will use funding provided under the section to ensure children with disabilities have access to and participate in inclusive preschool programs consistent with provisions in the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act and a description of how the state will collaborate. It's all here, Steve. Booby. Nobody knows what's in it. Just free stuff. Now, in his defense, he was bringing up Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she can't read.
So we don't know. They haven't circulated it. This will be...
They haven't circulated it? No? They haven't circulated it? What, do they have a drum circle?
Thousands of pages long, and if you've ever seen one of these bills, they're enormously complicated. It's basically a contract. Everything's referenced to another part of the Federal Register. This is not just some sort of for your reading pleasure.
Yeah, and it's weird how everybody else manages to look at it except Republicans. They go, that thing's fucking huge.
These are highly technical, thousands of pages long, each one to have implications to it. Now,
that's why they all go through committee, fucko.
Congressional Budget Office, what we understand is this the other way, a little bit of inside baseball of what they're trying to do to gun deck this. In other words, gun deck's a Navy term to say basically to do something untoward.
To gun deck it. Yeah, they're gonna shoot the decks on this. Tell me what gun decking means?
In other words,
macho asshole.
The Navy term to say basically to do something untoward to kind of fool you. Okay, gun deck's when you drop the rifle on the deck and you shouldn't hit it that hard. It's a mistake. They're gun decking.
What? They're gun deck. What do you mean? They're dropping the bill on the deck to pretend that it's broken so they don't have to fire it? The fuck?
And what they're doing is they're not having the interconnectivity of the budget. Remember, for $1.7 trillion or $3.5 trillion, these are numbers of scales that people heretofore had not even talked about but couldn't even comprehend of the scale.
Hey, fucko. You want to comprehend this scale? Let's see. U.S. economy in trillions. We have a GDP of $22.675 trillion. Nobody's even comprehended that. We're taking $1.7 trillion over 10 years off the 20% or so of this that is taxed and directing it towards schooling and food and disability assistance for people. This isn't fucking communism. This is normal. This is a service base. It's the same thing with infrastructure. Now, the ultimate worth, let's see, 36 more rows. Let's see, the total, let's see, I'll try to find this in here. Yeah, there you go. Nobody's even, no, guys, nobody even thinks about these, evolution of GDP in 2000. This is like, you play this out. This is, and you watch this, and China's switching with everybody, and look how fast they're growing, and look how close they're getting. This is going to take a giant shit. You can just, first of all, from this line to this line is bullshit. It's fart air, fung pee, it's garbage. It doesn't exist. It's all for show. It's shuck and drive. It's baloney. It's nonsense. It doesn't exist. It's money on paper and no root worth underneath it. Get used to it. This is and then this chunk and this chunk are going to drop like crazy as everybody else tries to fight in there. Now, here's the United States. We have 340 million people in it. And allegedly, China has 1.1 billion. You guys know how I feel about that. I think it's closer to 600, 700 million. Maybe even less. India definitely has 1.1 billion people in it. And look at theirs. $3.7 trillion for GDP. Do you have any idea how rich our country is compared to other countries? It's not even fucking close. That's right, fung pee. Butt air, butt wind. And this is all snow. That's where it's going to be in 2024. And everybody says they're going to catch up. They are absolutely not. They're going to isolate themselves. And like I said, there's billions of dollars in this leveraged upon not garbage. Yeah. Japan, world's third largest. There's India is number 5. These are the world's largest economies. Not even close. We are not China's BS numbers notwithstanding, which is, trust me, nonsense. We have 5 times the economy of these other countries. And you're saying we can't have preschool for citizens of the United States? Kids in a country of 340 million people? Look at this. It's embarrassing. Numbers no one's even comprehended. Go fuck yourself. Everybody in business comprehends money in the trillions all the fucking time. The reason we've never done this before where we talked in terms of trillions is because people didn't even know we had a 12 or an $8 trillion economy when everybody else was smaller 15 fucking years ago. This is just embarrassing. How do they just assume nobody gives a shit?
The commitment of these to the American people. So you have the Congressional Budget Office, they do these verticals of like, if it's in child care, if it's in pre-K, if it's in free community college, take whatever it is, what the bill is going to ascertain resources and spending for. But then they come back, they look at what's the impact in that vertical, but then they come back and tie it together. That's called the interconnectivity or the interactivity. It's got a couple of phrases, but it's kind of dynamic.
Yeah, he doesn't know any of the phrases, so he'll just pick one and say they call it a lot of things.
And it's not dynamic scoring. That's different. That talks about what the economy will do overall.
By the way, can we just enjoy the fact that Steve Bannon's still in legal deep shit, is going to end up probably doing a couple of days in jail between now and when he actually testifies, and they're going to get all of his devices, and he's dicking around, arguing. Think about what his show is normally about. What do we normally watch on this guy's show? That it's a fucking Marxist takeover of the whole thing, and that there's CRT kids, and there's going to be a revolution and shock troops and blah, blah, like all this flowery asshole macho language. And now he's like, when the Congressional Budget Office brings back a final, it's not quite a final score. They always have to link it up to like boring the fuck out of everyone. This is fantastic.
Economy can either decrease or increase. Right now, Biden is so freaked out. They're so shocked and worried about inflation, because inflation is one of the cruelest taxes. It's crushing the working class. It's crushing the middle class. That they're presenting this instead of the bank.
It's crushing the working class. It's crushing the middle class. It's crushing. Everyone is crushed, and the crushed. U.S. retail says strong sales growth implies earlier. U.S. retail sales surge as Americans kick off holiday shopping. Inflation is hiding within retail sales spikes, meaning that the consumer is absorbing it with extra money that they have. The rest of the world isn't. The American consumer is. Hammering, crushing, destruction. Destroyed and crushed and crushing. In October, they went up 1.7%. Core retail sales started 1.6%. Manufacturing production rebounds 1.2%. None of this is going to fucking matter in 3 months, Steve. None of it. And again, this time next year, the argument will be, dear God, we have deflation. People, their salaries have gone up, but we're getting cheap overseas goods, and the rest of the world hasn't caught up. They haven't raised their prices yet. Yeah.
See, Bill, because this will bankrupt the United States. They're tying this. They're saying this.
Sorry, what? The bill that pays for itself, but for $384 billion, which they think they can bring down by $270 billion with proper tax enforcement. That's going to bankrupt the United States. It's going to bankrupt, Steve, it's going to bankrupt the United States. $384 billion in overtures in a bill that brings everyone universal pre-K, 2 years of free community college. If they want it, they don't have to go. An entire infrastructure plan that's going to rebuild bridges, roads, train lines, electric car grid, all this other shit that's going to fix a bunch of climate change stuff. It only goes over $338 billion in the overall budget for a fucking decade, is going to bankrupt the United States. For fuck's sake. Again, that's what I said. Like, this is their job, is to shit talk the United States of America. That's what he does.
Be an inflation killer. This is actually going to kill inflation. They're making the argument, which they haven't made before, because they think you're idiots. Since inflation is on everybody's mind, they're going to sit there and go, no, by having these investments, we're actually going to put costs down, and that's going to lead to lower inflation.
And by the way, by they, he means Moody's, Goldman Sachs, and other Wall Street firms who have said that the Build Back Better plan and the infrastructure bill will put a downward pressure on inflation because of the amount of resources it takes in and the type of jobs it creates, that it will kind of tap that down. It'll also open up ports and other shit, and they'll have better import-export. It'll fix a lot of the holes in our import-export world, in the supply chain.
Nonsense. I mean, it's laughable. You don't see any real economists. You see the phonies up on the
phonies up on what? Wait, do you think
NBC, and really the partisans on these other channels that are there?
I
mean, it's laughable. You don't see any real economists. You see the phonies up on MSNBC, and really the partisans on these other channels that are there that are pushing this. So we know that inflation is the thing that's got Biden scared to death. You look at the front page of
the Financial Times.
The Financial Times today. Biden's been begging people like Japan and China. He's releasing fuel. I think 2.3 million barrels of out of the strategic petroleum reserve we have. He's been begging China and Japan to do the same. Headline: Biden urges probe of potentially illegal conduct by energy majors, trying to get what the energy majors.
Uh-huh. And by the way, this is Steve Bannon coming to the defense of Chevron, Exxon, and all these oil companies, because it's really them and the Saudis and the Russians cranking down production to try and drive the price up that's causing the jack up at the pump, because nobody went anywhere last year. So they're trying to make up for that lost revenue.
Although Biden's tried to kill the energy industry under President Trump, we were full spectrum energy dominant. He's trying to do it. Of course, the subheadline.
Full spectrum energy dominant. Were we now? Oh, right up until he let COVID run rampant and we couldn't fucking go anywhere. And all of his energy policies were contributing to the recession that started in February of 2020. That was hidden under the abject failure of COVID. So it's always good when you can cover a minor fuck up with a gigantic one.
Analysts deride as political stunt. You have this regime, the death rattle of this regime, and you can see the death rattle of it because of the polling.
Say death rattle again. Say that no one thinks when you say death rattle that you haven't just spoken to your skin doctor.
This is a collapse of historic proportions on every poll across the board in every demographic. You have a complete and total implosion of this illegitimate Biden regime. But they're doing two things simultaneously. Number one, with no mandate. And they have no mandate.
This is what he said on the other show, too. Yeah, they do. 8 million extra votes in the popular vote, and, of course, 306.
Like FDR had in 32 or LBJ had in 64, these kind of over, 50, 60, 70, 80, 100-seat majorities in the House coming off the financial crisis in the Great Depression in 1932, and, of course, the assassination of President Kennedy in 1963, where...
Yeah, I know it's going to be hard to get kind of like, political sympathies without having your leader assassinated or without the Great Depression. What?
Lyndon Johnson won the sweeping victory against Barry Goldwater and brought massive majorities to the House and the Senate.
Yeah, because, Goldwater was a magical candidate. Ask Stephanie Miller.
There they had mandates and used those mandates for the New Deal and then for the Great Society. Here with no mandates, basically losing House seats in the big steal, losing House seats in 2020, losing House seats. I think it was 14 House seats. I think it netted out to 12, a net 12 House seats.
And yet still controlling. They lost some and still have control.
Losing House seats.
Winning the Senate.
And being dead tied in the Senate, with only a handful of seats in the House given a majority, and many of these I should say moderate Democrats in swing districts that Trump will win in 2022 and 2024.
Yes, he's going to run both times. He's going to run for Congress. He's running for Matt Gaetz' seat. He's going to run for Speaker of the House and lose, actually, to Liz Cheney, I hear.
They're going into a plan that's actually more radical than the New Deal and the Great Society combined. This is transformational, and they're trying to do it in the dead of night. They haven't had any...
No, they were going to do it in the dead of night, and then Kevin McCarthy talked all night, and they did it in the morning.
Meetings on these bills. They haven't had any hearings on these bills. They haven't gone through the technical details of these bills.
Yeah, they have. The infrastructure bill is a lot of stuff that's been sitting around for years. It's not a mystery. We know which bridges are broken. We know which areas don't have broadband. They've been through committees dozens of times. They just went back through and changed the cost because waiting makes it worse.
All you do is get numbers. Now they're trying to spin it and trying to sell it. Biden's popularity, his polling is dropping. I think he's dropped 5 points even from the time they got the infrastructure bill signed. He's in a complete and total collapse. And what's the regime doing? They're doing a rearguard action on trying to try to get this spending in there, thinking they can buy off.
Rearguard action. I thought they were machine gunning the deck is this signal or noise? And insert macho phrase.
The working class and the poor in this country.
I keep thinking and that's the end of it. Steve, I did freeze that. That's the last frame of their video. I was so overwhelmed by how I was hoping the ice would make my coffee more palatable.
Try to get this spending in there, thinking they can buy off the working class and the poor in this country.
That's it. And apparently, whatever thought he had after that, according to Steve Bannon's people, that was a waste of time. Dems are lying about inflation. Biden is scared to death. Well, he's getting a colonoscopy. It's got to be a weird feeling, you know. I don't think he's scared of it, though. I think he's had one before. Okay, now who else has been ice skating uphill against a congressional subpoena like Steve Bannon? Why, our good old friend Mark Meadows. He speaks out for the first time about the House January 6th committee, and John Hines has an exclusive interview on OAN. Yes, that's right, Mark Meadows. You have nowhere to go but Flashpoint now at this point. This is the end. This is it. Oh, God.
For the first time about the House January 6th committee, One America's John Hines has more in this exclusive interview.
Sir, I wanted to talk to you.
Hold on. Exclusive? Sorry, I know I don't even let him get started. Exclusive? You mean people aren't chomping at the bit to try and secure an interview with Mark Meadows? I find that hard to believe.
About a subject that is near and dear to your heart, and I'm not sure in a necessarily good way, but is this issue of your appearing before the January 6th Commission. They have been very eager to have you testify. You have been somewhat quiet about this. Now you're opening up to One American News a little bit.
Jesus Christ. This dude is creeping me the fuck out. His notebook, his pen, his blue phone, his weird demeanor, he looks like an extra in an old 1960s, early 70s Disney cartoon.
To ask you where that situation stands and why are you so reluctant to engage with some of your former colleagues on this issue?
Well, I think probably the biggest thing is executive privilege that President Trump.
He doesn't get executive privilege. Not around this. Treason and murder aren't covered, asshole.
Is claiming is not mine to give away. You know, if it were mine to give away, then perhaps it's a one-on-one discussion that I could have with Chairman Thompson and talk about that. But this is a privilege that belongs to.
What? Wait a minute. Why one-on-one with the chairman? Mark, you don't actually think you're important, do you?
Trump. Candidly, the scope of what they're asking for, at least what we've been led to believe they're asking for, is well beyond any real legislative purpose.
Wait a minute. Led to believe, asshole, they served you with a subpoena. You're not. This isn't a game of telephone.
At the same time, there's been a lot of critique in terms of what do you have to hide, and I'm not aware of any advanced knowledge of any nefarious actions that we had knowledge of in the West Wing on January 6th.
I'm not aware of what and any nefarious knowledge of anything we had. Look at it. Look at his eyes right now. I'm not aware of anything that we had a foreknowledge of nefarious activities. And no. The actual, what they did once they got there, we were just like, hey, go fuck them up. I didn't have any awareness of whether they were using their feet or their fists, or they were going to use Blue Lives Matter flags. That totally caught me off guard. Fire extinguishers, bear spray. We didn't really discuss that. We just said, go fuck them up.
And yet at the same time, there's been a lot of critique in terms of what do you have to hide, and I'm not aware of any advanced knowledge of any nefarious actions that we had knowledge of in the West Wing on January 6th. I mean, the breach of the Capitol security, I think, caught all of us by surprise. Certainly caught me by surprise. I know I never thought it would be successful.
I was watching it on television and masturbating at the time, but it was just getting too exciting. I blacked out in the middle.
Didn't have any advance notice. And so,
hey, well then go say it under oath, fucko. How hard is this? Yeah, they didn't do nothing. Right. Din doos. What? Yeah. Then go say it under oath. Say this under oath.
In spite of those declarations, it seems like that the House committee wants to move forward. Hopefully, this is something that can either be worked out in a spirit of accommodation, or in the courts where they rule on whether a previous sitting president has rights to some executive privilege.
Well, it's not only
yeah, no, he doesn't. And secondarily, if he didn't do anything, why do you need the executive privilege? The fuck for? If you're not proud of what you did on that day and ready, what's stopping you if you are proud of it?
Former presidents, I gather that it's former presidents, it's about former presidents, it's about sitting presidents. The precedent here then, of course, is that I gather that if you were to appear, and they also want documents, I think, as I understand it,
right.
And if you were to provide those and you to appear, it also sets a very interesting precedent with a future president or a current president like Mr. Biden and a future Congress.
Well, it has
so you could
a very chilling effect.
Yeah, it would have a very chilling effect on anybody who wants to launch an attack on the fucking Capitol so they don't lose an election. Asshole, it should have a chilling effect on those kind of communications. Just like Iran-Contra was meant to have a chilling effect on presidents trading drugs for guns and hostages. It's supposed to chill you. It should chill you to the fucking bone.
Without a doubt.
You could get in a situation where Joe Biden's chief of staff would be subpoenaed to appear before a Republican Congress. Is that not correct? Is that accurate?
Without a doubt, and it would have a chilling effect on the advice and counsel that a president gives. The chief of staff and the president of the United States oftentimes will have a number of conversations that are just between the two of them, and yet.
Yeah, asshole, that never happened. For real. There was no point where, honest to God, where Mark Meadows and Trump was asking Mark Meadows for his sound advice as his chief of staff. Mark Meadows was a giant secretary for Trump. That's it. Chief of staff to Trump means like primary servant. He wasn't bouncing ideas off of Mark Meadows. If he is, he's an even bigger fool than we think he is.
If the committee were able to continue down this road, where a political party of a different political persuasion that comes into power.
Yeah. Imagine if the Green Party ever gets in and decides to start asking questions about how. Well, I mean, I guess January 6th, really. I mean, unless they want to go all the way back to 1812, I don't quite.
Can use it to subpoena former chiefs of staff. And
Diana says, why do they always call him Mr. Biden? Because they're trying to, for their audience, they can't call him President Biden because they don't want their audience to believe that they know he's president.
Give some of those intimate details. I'm not sure exactly where.
You mean you don't want to plead the fifth in public?
But I think the difficulties that it would create are certainly not something that I think we want to go down. To your point, I know there have been a number of Republicans already who have said, well, let's bring in Ron Klain.
Right.
And have him talk about the relationship between the decision to pull out of Afghanistan and some of the decisions that were made there. And there's proper oversight, without a doubt. There's proper oversight.
Yeah, but the deaths that happened, or mistakes that occurred very different than ordering an attack on the fucking Capitol. The standard is so goddamn high. And by the way, hey, look at that. It's 4:10 my time, and I'll be goddamn if we're not still out of Afghanistan.
That can be done, but yet when you get the most senior officials, and particularly the chief of staff, it's never been done to my knowledge in terms.
Yeah, tell you what, if there's ever any information that Ron Klain was coordinating with Americans who were trying to subvert our getting out of Afghanistan, our removal of troops and people out of Afghanistan, and Ron Klain was calling them during the time it was happening, tell you what, drag that fucker in front of a committee. Because that's the standard you would have to meet.
Of bringing them before Congress, and certainly I think judges across the political spectrum would see the potential harms that it may create.
Mark Meadows, the former
no. And really, that's it?
chief of the 45th President of the United States and author of The Chief's Chief. Thank you for talking to us on One American Is, sir.
Great to be with you. Thanks, John.
Want to see
Author of the Chief's Chief? The chief of all chiefesses? Is that really? Does Mark Meadows have a goddamn book called The Chief's Chief? I think we remember seeing it at some point. Oh God, how embarrassing. Yep. The Chief's Chief. The Chief's Chief. He's the chief of the chief. By the way, Trump looks like he's vaguely in pain. Here you go. Hold on. The chief. I'm trying to get a blown up picture of this. There it is. The Chief's Chief. Is that not embarrassing? Mark was a great chief of staff, as good as it gets. We will have a big future together, President Donald J. Trump. The Chief's Chief. Chiefy Chief. It looks like it looks like Mark is entering without lube on this cover photo. This is a really fucked up shot. That's the cover of his book. Just, I don't know. What do you want for the cover of your book, Mark? I don't know. Grab something off of my Instagram that makes it look like I am anally entering Trump from behind against his will. He'll love it. Jesus. It's terrible. Oh, I mean, look at Trump. Oh, easy. You take it and you like it. That's hideous. Sorry about that, Chief. Right. I got it. Yeah. Is Chief code for penis? Very possibly. It's on Thrift Books for $24.25. You can pre-order it. The book's coming out. This is the cover, though. It hasn't even come out yet. Like, December 7th it comes. That's why he's on the shows doing the ads. No, I don't want more. I think that's ridiculous. The Chief's Chief. Shut the All right, this is where we get to the bottom of it. This is where we find out what's really going on. You know, one of the things we always wonder on this show is what we're thinking. You know? You ever been in that situation? You go, what was I thinking? And you're like, I wish somebody could tell me. Obviously, Sebastian Gorka knows what the left gets away with it. Their secret strategy. I'm excited. It's Sebastian Gorka, 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 in Gorka, Gorka, America first. Gorka, 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 in Gork.
Let's go to Kay, California, line 5. Welcome, Kay.
Oh, Dr.
Caller Rick. All right.
Gorka, love you so much, particularly your voice, and thank you for standing with all of us.
And then I thought you loved me for my mind, but you just love me for my voice, Kay. I feel so objectified there.
All of it.
Yeah, all of it. That's what we're wondering about in this circumstance. But yes, Go ahead and tell us.
Package. I know your time is precious, so
go ahead. Go ahead.
Let me be brief. I am a long time born and raised in California. Cannot understand why the world is getting crazier and crazier, and it occurred to me that the left has a winning strategy. The winning strategy is this: take any issue, find the solution that is the opposite interest of the nation and the people. Then wrap it in compassion and push it out. Wash, rinse, repeat. Yeah. You do that over and over and over again, and you destroy the country.
Yeah, it's so true. This concept of how the left are the emotional and compassionate ones, and how conservatives are evil, mean-spirited, and greedy. This is, let's just stop for a second. Let's take elections and politics out of it for a moment. Let's just talk about ideologies and frameworks for analyzing the world, systems of analysis. It's very interesting that we have basically two baskets of political ideologies. We have left and right. We have one that preaches compassion, but whose apotheosis, socialism or communism, has taken the lives, according to left-wing historians, of more than 100 million human beings, from the Soviet...
Sorry, I just had to.
...into Cambodia. On the other side, we have, you can call it what you will, you can call it conservative, Republican, Tory, what have you. You have an ideology in the form of democracy, in the form of capitalism, that has lifted more people out of non-representation, out of disenfranchisement, out of dictatorship, out of poverty than any other system known to man. Since the dawn of time, since the first way we organized ourselves was in tribes, in clans, through the dynastic system, through the feudal system, through the city-states, right up to republics and what we have today across the globe, there is no other model of governing human beings that has done more than to give justice and prosperity to as many people as democratic market capitalism has done. But we are the ones without compassion. You're right. It stems from one very simple...
What the fuck are you talking about, by the way? None of what he's talking about is anti-Democrat Party. The Democratic Party. Nothing. This is just garbage. This is just basically like they're communists. Fuck off.
The left hates America. There's no grand conspiracy.
Is that what it is? Yeah, that's just what it boils down to. The left hates America. Hold on. I think Kate's going to say something else again. I have to make sure we...
Because if everybody on your side hates America, that's all you need. But the packaging, the bow with which it is wrapped, the cloak that enshrouds this evil ideology is, of course, you're right, compassion. Beautifully put, Kay. Stay on the line. Let's reward Kay with one of our Let's Go Brandon hats. You can get yours at sebgorkastore.com. Tell the world what you think of that senile husk of an old man in the White House who sadly bears the title of Commander-in-Chief and President. Go to sebgorkastore.com. That's SEBGORKA store.com.
No, let's not. Seb, who the fuck is that? Who is she? Huh? Who is she? I will not be ignored. I didn't call into this show just to be another one of your red hat cast-offs. You bastard. How could you do this to me? Son of a bitch. Hate.
But she gets hers on us. I'm Sebastian Gorka. This is America First, coming to you from the ReliefFactor.com studios.
Jesus, that's it? Fucking embarrassing. Jesus. I think the bouffant hairdo works very well. Get off your man? Right. Oh, thanks. I think I make a very attractive woman as well. So, all right. Oh, we already. It's so weird. Hold on. I'm like, we have some time left. Use it well. Especially considering the whoops, where are we? Here we go. There you go. Oh, hold on 1 second. Sorry. I gotta get through here. I want to look up a piece of the footage. Trump president. Yeah. There was yeah. So Greg Kelly, here it is. Let me get this in here. This is Greg Kelly desperately attempting to give me this 1 more second. Let's see. Yeah, here we go.
Bill. Yes, I'm only a Bill, okay? And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Well, I first came to be thanks to that low IQ AOC.
By the way, this right-wing dude, Captain Deplorable or whatever, does a ripoff of the guy who's on SNL right now. It does a ripoff of his Trump impersonation. You know, it's a thing with the stuffed up nose version of it. You can see when somebody has like a cast off. It's like when I think it was, I don't know who did the first, like one person started doing walking and everybody's walking is that walking, not based on him.
They talked about me all the time on the fake news on TV. Soon pencil necks like Adam Schiff and fools like Maxine Waters jumped in and shouted Green New Deal instead of open borders. Then senators like Crazy Bernie and Little Crying Chuck watched sadly with their own two eyes as the Green New Deal got stuck. I died right there on the floor of the Senate in front of Mitch McConnell. I came and went faster than a Big Mac ordered by Rosie O'Donnell. But if I ever make it to Sleepy Joe's desk, he'd sign me without hesitation. Because if there's one thing that Sleepy Joe does well, it's destroy our beautiful nation.
Ooh, that is a good Trump impression.
Oh, it's so good. It's nowhere near yours, Greg. By the way, why are you looking at your dick? You just showed us a video on screen. I know I'm barking up the wrong tree about this horseshit.
By Sean Farish, and he does a lot more than impressions. He's a brilliant political thinker from Long Island, New York. He is the founder.
Yeah, and is he your guest on the show today? And he's going to give us his take on the quality of the Build Back Better plan. Is that what he's doing?
The Long Island Loud Majority. And Sean, welcome back to Newsmax. How are you?
I'm doing great, Greg. Thank you so much for having me back. It's an honor to be back here with you. And yeah.
We're so glad you decorated. And it's nice to know that you're checking in with Greg Kelly straight from the room where the doctor's about to give you your checkup. This is because if the Republicans know how to do anything, it's not have like commie style lifeless rooms.
River.
You bet. And listen, again, in addition to the impressions, which are brilliant, we'll talk about those. You've been so active. You went to CPAC. People are really responding to your message. Tell us.
Yeah. Can someone put that on a piece of paper in fucking front of you, Greg? Is it getting worse or is it just me? P.S. Why do you look like Nixon right now? Is it just me? Did he freshly dye his hair? Is that what it is? So he went too dark and it ended up looking Nixon? Is that what's happening? I love what you're doing. It's fantastic. I am not a crook. I'm going to look at my dick the entire interview.
A little bit about your work at the Long Island Loud Majority. It's really grassroots stuff that is so necessary and important.
Yeah, we're encouraging all of our local communities out here to just kind of take a.
Is he just masturbating? Is that what he's doing? Are we? He's just spanking it because just imagining.
Important.
What is this?
Yeah, we're encouraging all of our local communities out here to just kind of take a stand together, and what we've done,
Do the thing where you sound exactly like Trump.
A very big win in Smithtown. Back in the school board elections, we flipped 3 seats with the help of other groups, local patriot groups.
And you're getting candidates elected, by the way. You've been working hard on that.
Boom! 3 school board people elected. Boom! I'm sure none of them will resign in disgrace after having been found with child porn on their hard drives.
Local races, but it starts there, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. I mean, you could look at Sleepy Joe, you could look at what he's done with the country, you could look at inflation, but the people who have the biggest.
But you can't look at the quality of the graphics where we created a graphic loud majority that looks like our mascot is a dead cricket. Yeah, nothing says loud majority like a dead cricket. You know what I mean? Like that is just there's certain we'll miss him. Sad. Just sad.
Act on your life, on your day-to-day life, or your local politicians, and you have to start there, start local, and build from that foundation up to where we see governors and presidential races. But it all starts in your backyard, and that's the place where you can make the biggest change right away. And our communities are responding.
Or your mom's backyard, I guess.
They're energized. They're ready to keep fighting. They see what we did in Smithtown. They want it to happen in their individual communities too. We're here to make that happen.
Yeah.
Sean Farish graduated from Hofstra University in 2013. He's been in cable sales, paint sales, and I understand now you're working at a marketing firm. But I hope.
Fuck, this dude. He's telemarketing. He sold paint, which explains the huffing addiction, allegedly. I'm just kidding. And now he works in telemarketing in between Trump TikToks.
That stuff doesn't get in the way, and including your political activism with the Trump impression, which is absolutely brilliant. Can you tell everybody how this came about? Have you always had a gift for mimicking people?
Please do Greg Kelly. Please do Greg Kelly to himself. It's easy. You just got to stare at your own dick and go, It's pretty easy.
In school, my nickname in one of my radio classes before the tragedy was Robin Williams. I did everybody's voice stuff. I've always had a good time doing that. And nothing's getting in the way with it. A lot of people.
Yeah, it doesn't bother you that Robin Williams was actually a good person. They didn't mean it in that way, apparently.
Love it. One side or the other side. If you're a liberal, hey, you're pretty funny, even though I don't agree with you. And if you're a conservative, obviously you know who I am. It's everyone's in love with it. So every time a scam call comes through at work, it's people run over. Hey, do it. It's a scam call, and I'm like, yes, let's go. Okay, I want solar panels on the roof, the biggest, most beautiful solar panels the world has ever seen, and it's a fun time. So everybody seems to like it, and as long as people are laughing and hearing the message, I'm happy.
As long as people don't mind that I'm stealing someone else's impersonation and just copying it.
A lot of other people. We can find you on social media. It is great. It is the...
What? Chud? What's happening? Is that you, Murph? You're all wondering. Chip, by the way, Chip went to get chipped. Summer took Chip to get his chip. And the cats who have been, are not fans, have been kind of annoyed by his presence for a while, are now kind of like when she left with him to go get his chip, they were all by the door going, "Where are you going? We were just kidding. We don't really hate him. Bring him back."
Impression, but as great as it is, the work that you're doing on the ground, I don't know, pal. I think the future is very, very big for you. Sean Farish, let's see. I want to make...
Oh, hey, look at that. Look at that, Greg. He's been thinking about it. Does he dare whip out his Trump impersonation in front of this guy? I mean, can he go toe to toe with them about this? I mean, he loves Trump more than this guy, but what if he brings it out? I don't know, I'll do a couple of words. I don't know, maybe I will. We'll see when the interview comes up. Come on, Greg, you gotta do it. Nah, I don't know. I don't want to eat the kid's lunch.
Sure, we put this up. How do you find Sean? It's Captain. Let's go ahead and put that on the screen again. Captain who?
Captain Deplorable on TikTok, and then also on Twitter at Sean_Farish. It's there. It's a lot of fun. Come have fun with us. We laugh a lot, and that's the biggest thing. We laugh a lot, we have fun, and we get work done.
Captain Deplorable. I love it. Sean Farish, to be continued. Many, many thanks.
Hey, I'm Rob.
Boring. Terrible, terrible, boring. That's amazing. All right, now we know, many of us know. Hold on, whoops. Many of us know that one of the small joys, the small victories that the Republicans have, and especially our dear friend Grant Stankfield has, is to shit on the United States anytime they can. Take a win for the United States and turn it into a loss. Explain how the U.S. is being destroyed by anything that actually makes it work or helps or improves it in any way, especially if the other side did it. But in general, Stankfield cannot pass up an opportunity to shit on the country. And this one's called Grant Stankfield. Americans are the losers in all of this. And he's on the John Bachman show. So this is Grant on break from his own show, being on another Newsmax show. These guys interview each other almost as much as Fox News hosts do. You can't send stars, Sue? I'm sorry. You can always use the Venmo. I can't tell you what's up with Facebook. It's been very weird today. But thank you for even trying.
Tell you something. He never would have had to been in this position to go 8.5 hours. Now, it's impressive to talk for 8.5 hours. I'm not even sure even I could do that. It's a long time. But
well, yeah, you can. You can just bullshit. You can bullshit for 8 hours. You've done it before. Just take all your shows for the last couple weeks and just stack them together and go, yeah, I could do that.
Never had to be in this position. He couldn't even take 8 seconds to reprimand the 13 Republican defectors that teed this up for the Democrats that voted for the infrastructure.
I know, it's crazy. Like, he talked for 8 hours and he didn't take 8 seconds to shit on the people who voted for the bill that he's not actually talking about, that already passed and got signed into law, and it doesn't fucking matter. No? For fear that he might drive them to vote for this one too?
Bill. He couldn't even get control of his own party. Now he wants to look like some kind of hero, so what's the big deal? So they didn't vote it at 11 o'clock at night. Instead, they voted it at 10 o'clock in the morning. Democrats get what they wanted. Is this supposed to make us believe that somehow they were putting up a fight? This is the problem with Republicans when it comes to fighting. They want a smoke and mirrors show instead of a real fight. This needed to happen last week, not now. So I'm not applauding him. I'm not giving him a big thumbs up. You know what? You lost. You lost big time. Americans are the big losers in all of this, and we can thank Kevin McCarthy and those 13 feckless Republicans that voted for infrastructure.
I think that's the longest I've ever gone without interrupting Stankfield, just because that's the biggest run of shitting on Republicans he's ever done. And I, honest to God, I mean, come on, give it up for Grant Stankfield shitting the GOP bed in front of everyone. That's right. Yeah, remind everybody that they're losers, they're feckless, they're weak, they only fake fight, they're not on your side. They're enemy. I'd say, why not throw about like traitors or something like that? You know what I mean? How about that? Of course, there is one small detail, Stankfield, and that is you've been supporting them this entire time. Yeah, so it's kind of I don't know, it's sort of like a back and forth. You know what I mean? I don't know how it's got to be, like it's one thing to attack them, but you've been it's hard for us to take it seriously when you've been unhinging your jaw to cradle their nuts forever.
All right. Now we know how you stand on the issue. You know, it is interesting, too. Look, I watch this stuff from afar. I know you do as well when, you know, there's this kind of, oh, you know, nice work. You delayed the vote a few hours. Or, you know, more ridiculous, you know, to see the Democrats, you know, like they actually accomplished something today. They still got a lot of work to do, too, as well. And I think for most of America, this looks just so bizarre. All the, you know, self-congratulations and patting on the back. They haven't done anything. I mean, you know, the government continues to get bigger. Our rights continue to get trampled on. The debt continues to get bigger as well. What are they so happy about?
What are they so happy about? What did they do? They passed both bills. One's already been signed into law. The other one will go through the Senate process and probably get signed into law in one form or another before the end of the year. What else? What else do they have to be? Oh, we're not in Afghanistan anymore. Oh, and there's a big bunch of infrastructure that's being built based on the rescue package too. I can't imagine. I don't know. You'll tell me.
Yeah, I mean, well, who are you talking about, Republicans or Democrats?
Anyone
because I'm sure there's a lot of patting on the back. Oh, way to go, Kevin McCarthy. You know, it's like a quarterback who throws 4 touchdown passes during a game, but they still lose, and somehow he thinks he had a great game. Like, you lost.
Right.
And so Democrats, they're patting themselves on the back as the country goes to hell in a handbasket. And so I don't know what they think. So this is the one place I think that Americans can get on board with. It's called politics as usual. I would hope that even Democrats are as fed up as Republicans are with this uniparty in Washington that operates as one giant behemoth that is constantly sticking it to the American people. Nothing's getting done. I said today on my radio show this morning, I said Joe Biden's approval rating is like a third.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to tell us. It was great. I mean, we all listened. You guys all listened to Stanks, right?
8% now. It is so low. If I was president of the United States, I could have an approval rating of like 98%. You have all of the tools at your disposal to make everyone's lives better. Instead, what is Joe Biden?
I'm sorry, make everyone's what's better? Hang on. Because I think Stankfield just had a TMI moment.
Tools at your disposal to make everyone's lives better. Instead, what is all of the tools at your disposal to make everyone's lives better. Instead, what is...
Yeah, it was there was a W that beat that L out of his mouth. Lives matter.
What Joe Biden do? He's made everyone's lives worse. And he can thank his Democrats for that as well. They're right on board with it. It would be so easy to improve life in America, yet Joe Biden uses all the tools at his disposal to destroy it.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at this Axios story here. It says that Rick Scott is talking about top party donors being furious with the number of Republicans, including Minority Leader Mitch McConnell in the Senate, who voted for the bipartisan infrastructure bill. Quote, the donors complained to Scott that it was foolish for any member of their party to help deliver a win to President Biden. And it sounds like for once, Grant, that the base and the donor class of the Republican Party are on the same page.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a long time, John, you're absolutely right. The donor class and the base, what I still call the Tea Party faction, which has now become the America First Trump Republican faction of the party, maybe here.
I think Tea Party worked. It was tighter. I'm just saying.
Starting to find some common ground. But the people we need to find common ground with are our elected leaders in Washington that are not fighting at all.
No,
they should be on the steps of the Capitol holding news conferences every day, not just about the spending, but about the persecution of political prisoners when we go to January 6th as well. All of this, they need to...
The persecution of political prisoners.
Out there fighting, and they're not. And I think it's so disappointing. What happened? President Trump taught them how to fight. For 4 years, we started to see signs of Republicans with a backbone. The moment President...
Yeah, well, apparently their backbone was too weak to lift any infrastructure onto it.
...leaves office, they all turn into amoebas. It's disgusting to me.
Oh, yeah, just...
Let me tell you something.
I mean, it's...
He never...
Let me tell you something. Oh, my God. There's a... I mean, let's be honest. there's a beauty in all this, kids. There's just something spectacular. Hold on. There's so many. I'm looking up something real quick. This is the Bobert one. Oh, God. Ugh, we've seen that before. Oh, God. All right, I'm needle dropping on our way out the door. We've only got about 20 minutes left. I think, and we got to see. There's a new group of folks
had to been in this position.
Hold on. There's a new group of folks that are joining the Flashpoint crowd with Gene the Jesus Machine, and one of them is, I guess, Kevin Sorbo's brother.
And I agree with Keisha. It's not constitutional. It's not even in the authorization from Congress. So I think we stand a really good chance, thanks to First Liberty, NADF, and the other organizations, of winning this once it finally gets to the Supreme Court.
Yeah, I agree. And in all seriousness, thank you, Keisha, and everybody there at First Liberty. Boy, we're so thankful for their good men and women like you guys there fighting the fight for us. But I want to play this clip about OSHA suspending the mandate. Watch.
Oh, right. So they're talking about the mandate and how basically we need to fight back against this, and it's nothing. Is that the whole thing? Yeah, it's just them bitching about the OSHA thing. No, I'm not going to dive into something where they're like, it's actually not even a problem. Good Lord. Instead, I would rather go back to our dear friends who have a brand new show. And we only caught the beginning of it the other day, and now I want to pick up where we left off.
Lindell TV is proud to present Diamond and Silk Chit Chat Live. Standing with the silent majority as conservative women, Diamond and Silk voice their opinions about media bias, the war on liberty and freedom, and the repetitive political tactics and lies that Americans are tired of being subjected.
I'm tired. It's all over my screen. I'm so tired.
Diamond and Silk are not politically correct. They are politically direct. And now, here are your hosts, Diamond and Silk.
Hey y'all, welcome to Diamond and Silk Chit Chat Live. We're your host, Diamond and Silk on Silk.
Diamond on Diamond.
Okay, so listen, I just let me calm down.
Yeah.
Because I have to stay focused. I have to stay in my consciousness. But I want you all to stop right now, and I want you to share this podcast, share Frank's speech, share Lindell TV. It is imperative. It is important. Yes. And the reason why.
And the reason why is because my numbers are better than theirs. And I'm just using standard available ways of broadcasting. Is he back? Is he okay? Did they chip him in and knocked him out, or did he? Oh, good. Chip's back. I was worried. The cats were worried. I'm still doing my show, but they were like, oh, like you could tell they were like, where'd he go? Where was he? Where's Chip? Yeah. Rabies shot. I got a rabies shot too? Yeah. Is he traumatized? Can you bring him in?
He got dewormer though, so but then he got treats.
He what?
He got dewormer, which is kind of gross, but then he got treats on the way home.
Oh, all right. Aw. See Chip for a second? You guys want to see Chip for a second? He just got back from the vet.
Vaccines.
There he is. Hi, buddy.
So he might be sore. But
hi, buddy.
He got rabies shot in his butt.
Aw.
The other shot.
Welcome back, buddy. We were so worried about you. Well, hi. Hi. Yeah, he's like, I would like to run around and reclaim this place. You okay? Were you okay, buddy? You okay?
He didn't like the drive there, but the drive back he was fine.
Pop down. Oh, goodness. He's like, I'm free. I'm free of the box. Love you.
It is important is because I believe that Frank's speech is making so many strides. So many good things are happening.
Yes.
Yes, but even better, like and subscribe to my show. Give a thumbs up. And don't forget, if you want to and you feel like it, please subscribe on Twitch, twitch.tv/HalSpark. I said Twitch, not Twit. Although I might have to buy twit.tv at some point.
Too many people are tuning in, and that's why Frank's speech is in the left-wing media. They're talking about it because they don't get what Frank's speech get over here.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
So I want you all to continue to share. Sharing is caring.
Yes, the left. Yeah, she's right. We in the left-wing media don't get what Frank's speech is all about. I've watched it. I understand English. I am capable of understanding the issues that they're presenting, but I still don't know what the fuck they're talking about. She's right on point.
You care about your fellow American, and you want them to know what's going on.
There's only one, by the way. Your fellow American. There's only one.
Please share this podcast.
Yes.
Share Frank's speech. Share Lindell TV.
That's
also,
right.
Oh, I don't be afraid. I share some Frank fucking speech now and then. I'm pretty frank when I fucking talk. In that order.
Thanks-a-thon. Thanks-a-thon is going to be coming up on the week of Thanksgiving, starting Wednesday night, midnight, and it's going to be leading all the way up until.
Oh no! Oh no! They are not branding Mike Lindell's 3-day thing as Thanks-a-thon. Thanks-a-thon, and it's going to start at midnight on Wednesday. Thanks-a-thon. Huh? Not Spanx. No, it's not Spanx-a-thon. Thanks-a-thon for Thanksgiving.
Thanks.
Huh?
Thanks. As I was leaving on the bridge over here,
Yes?
there was a whole Trump Brigade flags and
Oh, yeah?
trucks and
On.
over the overpass.
Oh, okay. Great.
They're not there now.
Okay. Is he here?
I don't know.
That might be it. He might.
Is he in town?
I don't know. We'll have to find
On
out.
the bridge over the freeway.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
Friday night, midnight. So you all make sure you tune in. I was listening to my.
What? Yeah, well, Spankathon's way more fun.
Today.
Okay.
Thanks-a-thon. So I wrote down Thanks-a-thon. Okay. Also.
Sorry, she said thanks-a-thon, then she said thanks-a-don, which is, by the way, in case you don't know, the most gracious dinosaur of all.
If you have any questions for tonight, I want you to email those questions to diamondandsilk@gmail.com. I'm thinking about taking phone calls tonight, you all, because I'm just taken aback, and I feel like I need a little reassurance about some things.
Okay.
I'm just taken aback.
Well, shit, why didn't I know this was on live? I could have called in. I'm great at giving reassurance.
We'll talk about it, but please make sure you email your questions and your concerns.
Yes.
Now, I received an email earlier, and somebody asked something about blackface. I never really used the word blackface into Kamala Harris.
Okay.
And they want me to explain what do I mean.
All right.
And what I'm talking about is when I say Kamala Harris is in blackface, or when I mention blackface, I normally mention when it comes to Kamala Harris. And the reason why I say that is because when Kamala Harris, while she was in California doing what she was doing, when she hit the Senate, they did not identify her as a Black American.
Right.
She was an Indian American or maybe an Asian American. But then as soon as they did this here with the election and claimed that she was going to be the vice president or whatever, they tried to make it look like, oh, she's a Black American.
First Black
the first one, no,
yeah.
and that's a lie. And she was on a show, and somebody asked her, "Do she feel?"
What the ever-loving fuck?
Underused, and she basically said no, but really you ain't got to feel underused, you should feel used. Because what they did, I'm not gonna get upset, Don't get upset. Calm me down. What they did was use you, Miss Kamala Harris, and guess what? Your behind is going to take the fall. I predicted it will go down. She will be the most hated. She calling herself Black woman. She will be the most hated Black woman in America when this is said and done.
She'll be left holding the bag.
Yes.
Ashes.
Who told her to get involved in this? Nobody could have told me to come and commit treason or go along with treason. You won't be able to do that with me.
Oh, I didn't realize that's what she was tricked into doing. She was so that I was waiting for them to actually tell us what she was supposedly going to be holding the bag full of ashes at the end. And yeah. Yes. Yes, Kamala Harris was during the moments that she was president. I wish they let her sign like one thing. That would have been really cool. You know what I mean? Like it had to be signed during a time period, and so they did it. Yeah. But apparently, well, I guess they mean the election theft, right?
No. You went along with it, and now they got you looking like a fool up there. So when I talk about blackface, I'm talking about how the media, how these global elitists, how this regime put this woman in blackface. If you really wanted somebody black, he had 3 candidates up there. You should have picked the one with the darker hue. Now that's what you call black. That's the one that ancestors was born in. And I'm.
I didn't realize this was a colorist attack. So it's a depth of melanin question. I have no idea what the fuck they're telling about. And it's funny that they just brought up the the whole like liberals don't know what Frank's speech is all about. Yeah, I still don't. This is fucking horrifying.
Making this tonight about a black or a white thing because I know y'all get on me about it. But somebody had a
no. Don't worry. It's not about a black or white thing. As a white person, I feel completely left out of this horse shit. It seems to be some sort of like internal colorist racism from the two of you pointing at someone. I don't even feel like I have a say almost in how awful this is. Fucking hell.
About that. That's what I mean, you all. That's what I mean. They put Kamala Harris in blackface and presented her before like America like she was gonna be the first black person. And instead, you got to steal something. Yeah. This is the crazy thing. You got to steal an election for her to be the unquote first black vice. Yeah. You see what I'm talking about?
Can you unquote first before you unquote? I guess it's 2 unquotes because they're not really So I guess that's but it's an inverted little bunny fuck you because she's not really unquote.
I heard that there's some talks. I have heard there's some talks with Boo.
Okay, wait, this is going to be inside. This is some inside baseball. I believe this. Whatever Silk is about to say, she's heard some talk. This has got to be real. Let's hear it.
They're trying to replace her with Boo Edge so that he can be the first.
Allegedly, listen, look, and this is wait. What they do is they bully us into things.
Hold on.
He had 3 candidates up there. You should have picked the one with the darker hue. Now that's what you call black. That's the one that ancestors was born in. And I'm not making this tonight about a black or a white thing because I know y'all get on me about it. But somebody had a question about that. That's what I mean, you all. That's what I mean. They put Kamala Harris in blackface and presented her before America like she was gonna be the first black person. And instead, you got to steal something. Yeah. This is the crazy thing. You got to steal an election for her to be the unquote first black vice. Yeah. You see what I'm talking about?
And I heard that there's some talks. I have heard there's some talks with Boo Edge. They're trying to replace her with Boo Edge so that he can be the first.
Allegedly. Listen, look.
That Buttigieg would be the first. Boot Edge. That's what they call him. Boot Edge. They're trying to turn his last name into a gay slur.
Wait. What they do is they bully us into things. To get us to go along with it. You know.
By the way, who is shocked that they're drinking on the job? Who is shocked?
It's like gay marriage. Yeah. Gay marriage passed. Okay, I remember when that passed. But they acted as though America wanted it, and that is a lie. That is a straight up lie. So what they did was the courts went along with it. They bullied us because it went to the Supreme. They bullied us into this, and now we are accepting it.
Well, look at that. You got Diamond and Silk coming down on, politically just being right in line with the zeitgeist. finally coming out against gay marriage. What? How in the world? Honest to God, most of us thought you guys were a married lesbian couple for a while. Like, after I found out they weren't sisters, I was like, are they together? Because they're always together. I just figured that's, I was like, okay, they're trying to, have two tokens at once or something like that. Like, we have a gay black female couple that's our, that checks a bunch of boxes for us so that we can say some shitty things whenever Candace Owens isn't available. But who the hell?
Look at all of the stuff that they're bullying us. And listen, I don't care who you marry. So that ain't my issue. I don't care who you do what you want.
I don't care who you want to marry. It's your issue, but I don't think it should be legal, and America was bullied into accepting it.
Because I'm not married. Okay?
Right.
Okay? I get to do what I want to do when I get good and ready.
See, yeah. I know you're not married. Yeah. Yeah.
Do it. I ain't got nobody saying, Diamond, where you going? It be Silk that said, Diamond, don't leave out the house this time of night going nowhere.
Yes.
Because I'll do it in a minute.
Text me, call me, let me know what's going on.
I'll do it in a minute.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that I'm looking at all of the things that they bully us into, or they lie about to get us to go along with it, to change the trajectory.
Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Since when is the concept of marriage simply about somebody else gets to know what you do when you leave the fucking house? Have you not been in a relationship with what? No wonder the flowers are wilting in the back. You're not. Nobody cares what. I mean, isn't it kind of nice? We're like, where you headed? I'll be back in a little bit. I'm going to the store. Do you need anything? That's kind of a nice thing, and for fuck's sake.
Or to change the value of what we know. Right. And that's what they're doing now. They're doing it with the vaccines. They're doing it with the borders being wide open. They're doing it with taking away equality and calling it equity now. That's what they're doing.
I see. All right, good. So she's getting they've got a list of talking points now. I can't wait to hear what equality means versus equity.
Treating us into something through bullying tactics.
That's right.
Through bullying tactics is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So I hope I addressed your email. I hope I got it all straight.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay. Let them know.
I regret sending it, quite frankly.
Have any questions or comments?
Wait a minute, somebody said Elizabeth Warren is an Indian. President Trump called her a Pocahontas. Well, she a fake Indian. She was a fake one. Okay, but my thing is, don't lie to the public.
Right.
Tell the public the truth if you don't want the public to call you out. Because I'm one of them girls that's gonna call you out.
Yeah, and see, the Democrats have been doing.
Oh yeah. You didn't. Did you ever call Trump out about the VA choice? No, I guess not.
For several years.
Yeah, y'all.
They would use a high yellow person, call it black, to appease the black vote and to appease the white left-leaning.
Holy shit. A high yellow person. What? Seriously. Yeah, they're on, now that they're on Lindell's show.
Wow.
I guess they're just set loose.
Wow.
I mean, good God. I'm flabbergasted. I'm flabbergasted. This is so fucked up.
I saw it, and when I saw it, I said, "Why did they pick the one that's really black? This lady ain't." And then they thought everybody was gonna go along with. Look, so don't nobody like Kamala. Did nobody like Kamala when Kamala was a prosecutor, whatever she was up there in California. Nobody liked her. If people love Kamala, Kamala was in the primaries. Her own state didn't even vote for her.
Yeah, I don't think
she didn't even win her own state.
Don't nobody like her when she was with Willie Brown.
Well, Willie Brown liked it, I guess, because he was with
this
her.
Willie Brown.
But I'm just saying.
I bet you his wife didn't like her.
I'm just saying. And I want to say a shout.
This is This is just like wine talk. Holy hell. Flannel is drunk. Yeah, she totally is. My God. Yeah, this is on Lindell's. Their show, they're not in the Blaze or any of that shit. They've been bouncing around. They were on Newsmax for a while. This is their show. This is their Diamond and Silk Chit Chat show on Lindell TV.
To our personal assistant for sending me these Chico sticks. Chico sticks. Now, if y'all don't know what a Chico stick is, it's sweet sugar. And she found some and she sent them to me. And thank you so much, Tressie. I love you for that, for sending those to me.
She knows that we love Chico sticks, especially Diamond love Chico sticks.
Mike and Ike's and stuff like that. Stuff back in the day. Y'all don't know nothing about.
See, yeah. I'm a good and plenty guy, and Mike and Ike's are gross, but I hear you.
Y'all too young. You youngins. You all are youngins.
And the stuff that the younger people got access to now, that ain't this stuff.
That ain't the good stuff. This was the good stuff.
Yeah.
And this stuff costs, I remember when paydays was 25 cents. Now a payday is like $1 and some change.
Well, remember the squirrel?
Probably.
That's Biden's fault. That's got to be Biden's fault. That and peanut allergies. I blame Obama. Probably Obama.
Probably $2 now.
Remember the squirrel?
Yes, I remember.
Probably. Well, they do have giant ones now.
That's the kind of stuff we grew up with. They don't know nothing about that.
And you know what? I was in a grocery store the other day and I turned back to look at something else, and guess what caught my eye?
What, girl?
Squirt.
Oh my God, I remember that. Oh yeah. Okay, so they don't know nothing about pop. If you from up north, you call it a pop.
Right.
If you from down south, you call it a soda.
Right.
Yeah. So I do remember all that stuff.
Girl.
Okay, girl. So let's get into the show.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's stop talking about squirt. I'm gonna barf.
Well, you are.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes.
That this morning I was on the phone talking to my youngin. Okay. And she had this inspirational message to come up on her phone. And she said it to me. I said, oh my God, I would love for that to be the theme for tonight.
Okay, what's the theme?
The theme for tonight. Count your blessings, not your problems.
Oh, I love.
Yes. Count your blessings, not your problems. That is the theme. That so far, that's the theme. I mean, depending on what kind of a blessing you think certain skin tones are, I suppose, if you're not being a complete racist. But sorry, please continue.
Needed that.
Yes. Count your blessings, not your problems.
Now, for me, I can make something a problem. It ain't no problem, but I don't put it in my head it's this way and I can make it. We got to stop making things a problem.
We got to stop making things a problem. Stop focusing on all.
That's right. Stop making a problem out of nothing. You don't have to make a problem. The problems already make themselves. Let's hear it.
Problems, because if you would.
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this whole hour. Don't worry. We'll find a good exit strategy. Trust me.
Focus on expands. If you focus on your problem, you're going to keep getting more problems to focus on. What you want to do is start counting your blessings so there can be more blessings for you to continue to count. I know that.
Do blessings multiply? It's a question for the ages, I think.
For a lot of people here, but just think about it.
Rick is correcting me about something. He said, hey, ladies, listen, the thanks-a-thon runs through. No. It does not, darling. I can't read that because that's not right. I know it starts on Wednesday night. I'm sorry. You know what? Forgive me. That is Thursday.
Thursday midnight. Okay.
I'm saying it.
Oh my God, y'all.
Mike Lindell says it.
Okay, and he's saying that because
he's
Wednesday
old.
night, 11:59, and 12 o'clock.
Please tell me Mike Lindell is texting them in the middle of their ridiculous show.
It's Thursday.
Okay. Everything's
to make them clarify that midnight Wednesday night is really Thursday.
So once again, you all get it. 12 o'clock midnight.
12 o'clock midnight all the way through Sunday midnight.
Right.
But then he said Wednesday through Sunday. Okay, don't y'all get confused. On Wednesday
night at 11:59.
Just
have it on.
Have it on. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Rick. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Oh my God. How is this a show? How is this a show? How in the world? What is this? Think about what we've just heard in 10 minutes of this show. Like, just nonsense, racism, like on the nose. I mean, they even dropped the whole globalist thing. They were this close to dropping Soros the Super Jew. It's definitely a fwankathon.
Everybody, count your blessings, not your problems.
We're going to count our blessings and we're going to count our problems. Yeah. Now, I hope that this is a blessing in disguise, but I was watching a little bit of television because, you know, I'm really concerned about Kyle Rittenhouse and what's going on, right? So I'm looking at all of the...
Oh, dear God. Okay, I'm not getting Diamond and Silk's take on the Rittenhouse trial. I mean, if anything, we hit some sort of racism meter when they started. So, And I have a game to go to with my girl tonight. We're going to a football game. So, with the UNLV, we're going to the UNLV game tonight. So I'm going to, and that means I'm going to be exhausted for radio tomorrow. But at the very least, we've got to shuffle off. I have to eat something and then go out the door. Otherwise, I'll be eating crap at the stadium. And that's, something you must guard against. Yeah. And I basically had nothing today because even my coffee was not happening. So anyways, I appreciate you guys. I'll see you tomorrow for the radio show 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time on WCPT radio. And I will stream it live at Infotainment Wars and, of course, on fwank.com if you want to join us there. Don't forget, give a thumbs up on your way out the door. Like and subscribe. All the stuff I'm supposed to say that I totally blew off today because of the day we had, because of the Rittenhouse thing and all the craziness. And oh my God. Like I'm almost, I have to say, count your blessings, not your problems. It was a blessing that these two, Diamond and Silk, were sent us home tonight on this show, because I have forgotten about every other thing that was aggravating today because they were just so out of their goddamn minds. Like, that is so bananas. I'm overwhelmed by it. It's amazing. It really is. So, you're counting your glasses of wine? Right. So, we all owe Diamond and Silk a debt of gratitude for literally being so stupid, racist, and gross that it absolutely just lurched us out of our groove and made us take a look around. And I think I'm gonna go count my fucking blessings. That's what I think. And you guys are a blessing. And I can't thank you enough for joining me. I will see you tomorrow.